Now, around that time, when Bob went overseas to entertain to the troops, when he was nothing to do at Paramount, one of the producers at the Samuel Goldwyn studio wants to borrow Bob for his movie with the spy comedy. That is the 1943's They Got Me Covered with Dorothy Lamour. One of the funniest shows Bob Hope has ever made. His comical talents provide joyous entertainment by the New York Mirror. And they say a wacky Bob Hope faces. Bob goes after the villains with all the courage of a mouse tracking a mouse by the New York Times. Originally, They Got Me Covered was out on VHS in early 1986 in a black or beige packaging. This is a reprint in those gold box packagings. Originally, it was from Embassy Home Entertainment. However, this is a reprint of They Got Me Covered. And also this film co-stars with the villains like Arnold Clemenger, Donald Mick, Lorraine Albert, the one from Abbott and Costello v. Frankenstein, and Eduardo Cinelli was in it too. The same Eduardo Cinelli plays the Indian in Gunga Din in 1939. And this tape is not original release. This is a reprint in 1988 by Embassy Home Entertainment's Samuel Goldwyn's Classic Collection. We have here another Bob Hope movie made for Samuel Goldwyn in the 1944 comedy classic Princess and the Pirate, co-stars with Virginia Mayo. The same Virginia Mayo did films with Danny Kaye at the studio. That is Wonder Man, Kid from Brooklyn, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and The Song Is Born. And they say Bob Hope is in his finest roles, a hit pack with a hit material by Hollywood Reporter. And it says on the back of the box, one of Bob Hope's wackiest by a Leonard Maltin TV movies thing by Entertainment Today. This film was co-stars with Victor McLaren, the one from the movie with John Wayne and The Quiet Man, Walter Zazak, and Walter Brendan. Also, it has like Bing Crosby in the cameo. When you watch the end of the film, you might get to see Bing Crosby gets the girl at the end, gets Virginia Mayo. And this film is made in Samuel Goldwyn in 1944, and this is the 1985 release of Princess and the Pirate from Embassy Home Entertainment's Samuel Goldwyn's Classic Collection. And this tape is the 1985 original release. At the end of the tape, starting up the tape, it has no Samuel Goldwyn logo, but at the end of the tape has the 1982 FBI warning screen at the end in white, the one they used in one of the early Warner Home Video titles from the early 1980s. Yep, and this film was made at Samuel Goldwyn that same year. Danny Kaye did his first film for Samuel Goldwyn is Up in Arms. Here's another copy of Princess and the Pirate. That is exactly the late 1985 reprint. At the end of the tape has the FBI warning screen in blue. They're trying to update the tape as well for the Princess and the Pirate. Yep, I'm looking for any print dates. Also in this film, also for Virginia Mayo did other films besides with Danny Kaye. She was starred as Dana Andrews' wife in The Best Years of Our Lives. Then she did a couple of films with James Cagney. That is White Heat and The West Point Story with Doris Day. Yep. Now the Bob Hope collection continues with my favorite road movie. It's one of the funniest ones of all times. Road to Utopia, the one with the boys went to Alaska. Yep, one of the good songs I like was Put It There, Pal, and Good Time Charlie. And Dorothy Lamour sings Personality. You gotta watch out for who's interfering in the movie as Robert Benchley. Yep, And this is the early 1988 release of Road to Utopia from MCA Home Video. And it was reissued in 1992 in the Road to collection. And it has the MCA Home Video background in pink. Yep. Just like they did with Bob Sorrowful Jones. Had that sticker labeled Needles for American Tail. Abbott and Costello Hit the Ice, Double Indemnity, Harry and the Hendersons, and Brighton Beach Memoirs, and many more titles from MCA Home Video has the background in pink. Don't want to miss having Road to Utopia for your Bob Hope collection. The next Bob Hope movie we have here from 1946, Mutual Bouquet, when he co-stars with Joan Caulfield. Yep. Also stars with Patrick Norris. And this film considered to be this film did later as a remake in the 1954's Casanova's Big Night with Joe Fontaine. Yep. And this tape of Mutual Bouquet is the 2002 the reissue from his Utopia collection. Did you know Mutual Bouquet was also released in 1993 on VHS? And this is the movie Bobble plays like a barber, and then he was pretend to become like a Casanova or something, or maybe an emperor. Haven't seen this in years. And you know, in 1947 or late 1946, Bob Hope spends thousands of dollars of his company, like the Hope Enterprises, that happens to be associated with Paramount. The first film that he did for the Hope Enterprises in the 1947 spy comedy of My Favorite Brunette, when it was left off with My Favorite Blonde, with Dorothy Lamour. That was the third time they made together since Caught in the Draft, and They Got Me Covered. This film co-stars with Peter Lorre and Lon Chaney Jr. This movie is about when Bob plays a baby photographer, and he decides to become like a private detective. But better count your chickens before they hatch, because private detective work is pretty hard work anyway. You might get yourself killed. And also, you might get to see one of the cameo stars in this film, like Alan Ladd from Shane and This Gun for Hyde, and Bing Crosby when he plays the executioner at the end, when he had a small part. Some of the Bob Hope films, Bing Crosby made cameo appearances. And this is the 1994 release from Video Treasures from the Hope Diamond series, and this is not a Puppet Domain version. This was syndicated when it's from Columbia Pictures Television. At the end of the tape has a Columbia Pictures Television logo, but it didn't have a Paramount logo right at the end of this tape. Yep. This tape was printed on October 8, 1994. Don't want to miss having My Favorite Brunette for your collection. The next Bob Hope movie we have here, that he was co-stars of William Bendix in the Weird Ass Life in 1947. The one with the king was killed, and also they had to pick Bob Hope as their king, someplace in Europe. And also he has to face with those spies, something like that. The one that wants to kill the king, yep, it's up to Bob Hope to put a stop to that. And this is the 2002 reissue of Weird Ass Life, and this, originally it's a 1995 release of Weird Ass Life. It was out the same time as The Big Broadcast, 1938, and Give Me a Sailor. Yep. After that film was made, Bing Crosby and Bob Hope made their fifth road movie, was Road to Rio. I don't have Road to Rio, but it also has Dorothy Lamour in it, and co-stars with Gail Sondergaard and the Andrews sisters. Did you know in the movie, Gail Sondergaard hypnotizes Dorothy Lamour 3 times, but once she plays Dorothy Lamour's evil guardian. And also in Road to Rio, you might have the Andrews sisters singing with Bing Crosby. You don't have to know the language. And in 1948, Bob Hope made a Western movie with Jane Russell, that is, The Paleface. And the sequel to The Paleface son of Paleface in 1952. And did you know the Paleface nominated for Academy Award for Bob Hope Sings Buttons and Bows on there? And I wish I have the Paleface on VHS in the 1985 release from MCA Home Videos Film Classics, or even 1991. And I wish I had the copy of Utopia on VHS from 1988, maybe 1989 reprint with like the slipcover. Now we have here the next movie of his collection. It is Sorrowful Jones as one of his Bubbles performance. Co-stars with Lucille Ball, and it's part of the MCA Home Videos Gene Selects the Critics' Choice collection. This is the movie I showed you earlier with my previous videos. Also in this film, it has William Denris, Bruce Cabot, and Thomas Gomez. Did you know Bob Hope and Lucille Ball made 4 films together? That is, besides Sorrowful Jones, they did Fancy Pants, Facts of Life, and the Critics' Choice. And here's another tape it looks like with the pink sticker label for Sorrowful Jones. I showed you that earlier, about 2 months ago, in one of my earliest videos for YouTube. And this film was a remake later when Bob Hope, when Sorrowful Jones did a remake from the Shirley Temple's Little Miss Marker, when it was co-starred with Errol Manfield, that was originally made in 1934. At the end of this tape has a trailer for the Paleface at the end that was already on home video. Other copy of Sorrowful Jones has a Paleface trailer in black and white, and this copy has it in color. Yep. Now we roll on to the 1949's Great Lover, when he was co-starred with Rera Fleming. Also co-stars with Roland Young from the Topper films, Ronald Clever, Richard Lone, Gary Gray, and Jim Backus as a private detective. Did you know Roland Young was in one of all the Topper films when he was with Hal Roach? And this is the 1988 release of The Great Lover from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video. Enjoy Bob Hope and these other films are available exclusively from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video, like Seven Little Boys, Lemon Drop Kid, Road to Rio, Son of Paleface, and Cancel My Reservation. This tape is not original. This happens to be a reprint, probably in the early 90s or something. And this tape was... This tape was printed